What if the career you spent years building became the very thing you needed to escape? Every morning, millions of ambitious people wake up already tired. The alarm rings. Their hand reaches for the phone. Before their feet touch the floor, the messages have started. Emails, deadlines, notifications, problems waiting to be solved. They worked for years to reach this point. The salary, the title, the apartment, the reputation. From the outside, it looks like success, but inside, something is disappearing. Energy, curiosity, patience, sometimes even the ability to feel excited about the life they worked so hard to build. For decades, we were sold a simple promise: work harder now, sacrifice today, and eventually, success will buy your freedom. But what happens when the reward never feels like enough? What happens when you finally reach the next level and discover that the finish line has moved again? This is where ordinary stress can become something deeper: burnout. Not simply feeling tired after a difficult week, but a state of chronic exhaustion, growing detachment, and declining effectiveness that the World Health Organization recognizes as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And if you woke up today already exhausted by a day that had barely begun, you may recognize the trap. But the real story begins with something almost everyone misunderstands about ambition. Human beings are remarkably good at adapting. The promotion that once felt impossible becomes normal. The salary that once seemed life-changing becomes your new baseline. The apartment becomes just your apartment. The car becomes just your car. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. We experience something positive. We adjust. Then we begin searching for the next thing. This ability helped human beings keep moving. But in the modern workplace, it can become an endless staircase. One more promotion. One more bonus, one more achievement, one more year of sacrifice. You tell yourself, when I reach that level, I'll finally relax. Then you reach it. For a moment, you feel incredible. And soon, normal. So you move the finish line again. But here's the twist. The problem is no longer just that we keep chasing rewards. It is that work can now follow us almost everywhere. The office used to be a place. Now it can live inside your pocket. A message arrives during dinner. A notification appears while you are watching a movie. You open your laptop for just 5 minutes on Sunday. Your body may be at home, but part of your attention is still at work, and that matters. Because the human stress system was built to respond to threats and demands, then recover. Activation, then recovery, pressure, then release. But when work becomes psychologically continuous, recovery becomes harder. You may close the laptop while your mind keeps working. Did I answer that email? What will my boss say tomorrow? Am I falling behind? What if I lose this opportunity? You are lying in bed, but mentally, you are still in the meeting. Then something unexpected happens. The longer this continues, the more difficult it can become to tell the difference between being productive and simply being unable to stop. Chronic stress does not remain trapped inside your calendar. It affects the body, the nervous system, attention, sleep, emotional regulation. Research on chronic stress and severe burnout has found associations with changes in brain systems involved in stress and emotional regulation. But you do not need a brain scan to notice that something is changing. You read the same paragraph 3 times. You forget why you entered a room. A small problem feels enormous. A simple decision feels exhausting. You take a weekend off. And Monday morning, the exhaustion is waiting for you. You take a vacation. For the first few days, you can barely relax. Then, just as your mind begins to slow down, you start thinking about returning. This is why rest alone does not always solve burnout. Because the problem may not be simply that you need more sleep. The problem may be that you keep returning to the same system that exhausted you. Researchers use the term allostatic load to describe the accumulated wear and tear associated with repeated or chronic stress. Imagine carrying a backpack. One deadline goes inside, then another, then financial pressure, then poor sleep, then the late-night messages, then the fear of disappointing people. No single object feels impossible, but you never take the backpack off. Eventually, even standing still feels exhausting. And that is when burnout can begin taking something even more valuable than your energy, your emotional life. That's where everything changed. One of the core dimensions associated with burnout is growing mental distance from work, often experienced as cynicism or detachment. At first, you stop caring about the meeting, then the project, then the people, and sometimes, that numbness does not stay at the office. You come home, and someone you love is talking to you. You hear the words, but you are not fully there. The hobby you once loved feels like effort. The music you used to enjoy becomes background noise. Someone asks what you want to do this weekend, and you genuinely do not know. This is one of the cruelest parts of severe exhaustion. You may finally have free time, but no longer have the energy to enjoy it. And slowly, your identity begins to shrink. You stop asking, "What kind of life do I want?" and start asking, "What do I need to finish next?" Your calendar becomes your identity, your salary becomes your score, your productivity becomes proof that you matter. You become incredibly efficient at doing, while slowly forgetting how to be. But the real story hadn't even started. Because escaping this pattern does not necessarily require destroying your career. You may not need to quit tomorrow. You may not need to abandon ambition. You may need to stop allowing ambition to consume every part of your life. The first move is to create a real boundary between work and recovery. Choose a shutdown time that fits the reality of your responsibilities. After that time, unless there is a genuine emergency, work ends. Not beside your bed, not during dinner, not hidden inside just one quick check. Put the work device away. Leave it in another room if necessary. Create a physical ritual that tells your brain, the workday is over. Change clothes, take a walk, shower, train, cook. The ritual itself is less important than the message. You are creating a boundary that modern technology has erased. The second move is stranger. Do something that is completely useless for your career. Play an instrument badly. Lift weights without turning it into content. Cook something that takes too long. Draw something nobody will buy. Build something with your hands. Do it without monetizing it, without tracking engagement, without asking whether it improves your personal brand. Why? Because if every activity must produce a measurable return, even leisure becomes another form of work. You need experiences in which the reward is the experience itself. Not money, not status, not applause. Just being alive while doing something you chose. And then comes the hardest move. Financial de-escalation. Every time income rises, there is a temptation to make life more expensive. A larger home, a more expensive car, more subscriptions, more obligations. Soon, the higher salary that was supposed to create freedom becomes the minimum required to maintain your life. And now you cannot leave. Not because the job is good for you, but because your lifestyle has become dependent on it. That is the hidden trap of lifestyle inflation. More income can create more freedom, but only if your expenses do not rise fast enough to consume it. The gap between what you earn and what you need can become something more valuable than another status symbol. It can become leverage, savings, time, options, the ability to say no, the ability to leave a toxic environment without immediately falling into panic, the ability to make career decisions from strength instead of fear. That is the transformation. Before, every promotion raised your lifestyle and increased the pressure to keep running. After, greater financial security can increase your ability to choose. Before, your phone decided when you were available. After, you decide. Before, every hour needed to be productive. After, some hours are allowed to simply belong to you. The goal is not to become less ambitious. It is to become harder for ambition to control. Because there is a difference between building a successful life and building a life you are too exhausted to experience. Modern work will always ask for more. More attention, more speed, more availability, more output. If you never decide what is enough, the system will decide for you. So close the laptop. Protect the hours that belong to you. Build financial space. Do something that cannot be measured. And remember, success is not freedom if you are too exhausted to live it. Every video, we examine the hidden psychological forces shaping how we think, work, and behave. If you want to understand those forces before they control your choices, subscribe. Protect your attention, protect your mind, and make sure the life you are building is still yours.